Lowe's knows Sundays are for football, so tackle your home improvement projects by Saturday and earn your Sunday with great deals on LG and Bosch appliances, select Bounty and Swiffer cleaning products, and more. Then once your to-do list is done, get ready to kick back, relax, and enjoy the game. Shop in-store or online now and earn your Sunday with help from Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
Wasabi is purpose-built to free your business from skyrocketing storage costs and fees. Wasabi is the go-to provider for professional and collegiate sports teams around the world. Check out Wasabi's AI-enabled intelligent media storage, Wasabi Air, to the industry's only cloud storage service with triple protection against cyber criminals. Wasabi, driving innovation in data storage for up to 80% less than market competition. Try for free at wasabi.com. Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage, proud partner of iHeart Podcast Network. Toyota's all in all season with another year of Toyota Game Day giveaways. The official automotive partner of the NFL is giving fans the chance to win epic prizes like Brock Purdy's favorite Toyota Sequoia, NFL shop gear, and more. Play for free by predicting which big plays will happen during the second half of every Sunday night football game. This is going to be fun. Visit toyota.com/NFL now to learn more. Toyota, let's go places. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Ends on 2/8/26. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and over. For complete details, how to enter prizes, and official rules, visit toyotasgamedaygiveaways.com.
Today we talk with Kevin Donnalley, former Panther, great offensive lineman. Played his last 3 years of his 13-year NFL career with Carolina. You hear him as a broadcaster with us, and he's on the UNC football staff as Director of Player Development. But we're going to focus today on that great season of 2003 at Super Bowl 38 today with Kevin Donnalley.
30 seasons of Panther football, a celebration of the players, coaches, and other key figures who've contributed to the organizational success.
30-plus years of football, 31 seasons of football. Twice this organization has been to a Super Bowl. You were part of one of those two. So that's a big thing in itself right there. And you had such a great career, and you finish up with 3 years with the Panthers. And your last year of NFL football turns out to be your last game is playing in Super Bowl 38. And it was just an amazing year because it ends up 11-5 in the regular season. Obviously, the postseason run to get to the Super Bowl. And it started out with such fantastic games. Jacksonville and Tampa Bay are legendary games in itself. What was there a part? Was it that early in the season, or maybe later in the season, where you guys started thinking maybe not a Super Bowl, but hey, we might have something here after being 7-9 the year before?
I think there's a couple points during the season that kind of started to click with me that I thought like the Tampa Bay game, getting a win on the road against the reigning Super Bowl champs. I didn't feel like we arrived. We only got our record to 2-0. We barely won that one in overtime. And then the first game against the Jaguars, I think everyone thought at that time it should have been an easier win. But it felt like, all right, we might not have a great team, but I could feel the chemistry and the makeup of the team coming together. Like, there was some toughness about it. And then I think, rolling into Indianapolis, I think was game 5. I think we were both undefeated, the Colts and us. I think maybe game 6, because we might have been 5-0 at the time. But anyway, don't worry about the details. The fact that we won another game on the road, last second kick by Casey, I think, we thought, okay, we're respectable. We should be in the conversation. This is a playoff potential team. The rest of the league just kind of dismissed us because we were just barely winning games and getting by. But and then, of course, that next game we played at home against the Titans and got hit with a buzzsaw. I mean, they were leading by 14 points within a couple of drives for them. So it kind of brought us back down to reality. But I think that game, certainly the Tampa Bay game that I've mentioned, then also that Colts game. And then I think really maybe that last win of the year, because we went through like a 3-game slump and then ended up winning maybe our last 3 games. And I think we finished with the New York Giants and won that game pretty handily. Felt like, okay, maybe we're back on track. Things are clicking. And so those few moments of the season was that there were different times where I checked off boxes. I've been in the league for a long time, 12 seasons prior to that, and had been on a lot of really great teams that made the playoffs. But I can honestly say it just felt different. We didn't have the most talent, but man, it just the way the team was as a whole, as a group, and the culture in that locker room.
I don't think I've ever asked you this before, just hanging out on the bus or before a game or whatever. What made you decide so definitively heading into that last season that it would be your last season? Like, why didn't you leave some crack of a door open, like, hey, if we go to a Super Bowl, maybe I'll stick around and keep going? Because you started every game, and we'll talk later about the offensive line.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole offensive line started every game. But why was it so 100% in your mind that would be the last year?
It had been about a 3-year process where heading to camp and then finishing the season and kind of thinking to myself, this might be it. And when I was with the Dolphins, I played 10 seasons and didn't know if I was going to get signed. I was a free agent that off season. And so that kind of first started, maybe it's time to move on to something else now. We'll see if I get signed. But then Paul Boudreaux had coached me at Miami, and now he was up with the Carolina Panthers as the offensive line coach, and that brought me back. And I loved him as a coach. That first season, we went 1-15 under George Seifert. Again, I'm like, man, I don't know, like, how much better are we going to be the next year? I don't know if I should play. So it was kind of always this process where I was talking retirement. My wife and I were, it was kind of like I was just spent, and I just knew I couldn't recover after that Super Bowl, between the mind, body, and spirit. It was my body had so much. That was a big part, and just leave the game intact and feel great about my career. I think mentally, just the focus it takes every week. And I'm a guy that didn't want to be on a roster. Like, I want to start, and I don't want suddenly all the skills that I have. And, I think as offensive lineman, you're always worried about people's health. You're in charge of protecting quarterbacks, running backs. And I think that bothered me that, if I wasn't as quick as I used to be or sharp, that, I could get a quarterback hurt. So a lot of different things kind of wound into it, but I just knew, and I knew how hard it was to get to a Super Bowl. I mean, I was with Dan Marino and Warren Moon, Steve McNair, never made it to a Super Bowl with some Hall of Fame players. There was no guarantee that the next year you're going to wind it back and do it again. So it was just time.
And you were so sure of it, you began videotaping what, in camp? Like, even before the season began, you videotaped essentially the whole season, not knowing, obviously, not being able to tell the future that this was going to end up being a Super Bowl year. How much do you have all of that? Like, what happened with all that, those videos you took?
Yeah, that started when I was a younger player. I just kept diaries after I had my first child, because I realized they're going to be so young. I don't know how long I'm going to play in the NFL, just to kind of save some of the stories and funny things. It wasn't always about football, but just things that were going on in the locker room, friends I'd made, funny things, jokes, pranks, all these different things. And then technology kind of advanced to a certain point where the cameras were pretty small. And I was like, instead of a written diary like I had done in 2002, why not just videotape, whenever we're, not in meetings or on the field, but it's all the off the field stuff. Guys playing stupid games in the locker room, playing pranks on each other, bus rides to games, celebrating wins, so many of these different things. So I just, I'll just take this where I can until someone tells me not to. And I think Coach Fox was cool with it. Everybody was fine with it. And so that's kind of how that all came together. It's a great keepsake. I ended up having 40 hours of film, though, Jim.
Wow. You need an editor now.
I did. You know what? It was kind of nice. I knew I was going to retire. I hadn't announced it yet, but a week or two after the Super Bowl, I got out the tapes and just started going through them, and just kind of seeing and writing down on paper, like, okay, tape one's got this on it, tape two's got that, and so it's pretty organized. But then it's a lot. It's a lot to go through.
No doubt about it. And you mentioned the offensive line and the health and all that. I mean, I don't know if this has ever been done. I could probably Google it. I don't know, but the offensive line basically played every game. There was one missed regular starter in the course of that entire season out of the 5 guys.
Yeah, it was. It was Todd Stussy, Geno James, Jeff Mitchell, myself, and Jordan Gross, and we played together as a starting unit 15 out of the 16 games. The only time was Jeff Mitchell had a serious enough injury. I don't know if it was a hip or a foot or something that he couldn't play in one of our final games late in the season in December. And so Bruce Nelson, a draft pick that we had that year, filled in for him. Played Arizona Cardinals, ended up winning that game. And it was the game we clinched the division. So it was a lot of fun. But to your point, I think you got to have playmakers and all these different things. But when you got an offensive line and even a defensive line, those guys in the trenches, if they stay healthy, they're all together, they can't help but just improve as the season goes along, and it paid off for us.
I'm going to lump the 3 playoff games together, and then we'll talk about the Super Bowl, of course. But Dallas, you beat by 29-10. St. Louis, to me, is still my favorite, most entertaining game. I'm sure you were exhausted. Double overtime, 29-23 in St. Louis. And then Philadelphia going up there and beating those guys at that place at that time, 14-3 was amazing. I mean, what was it like just on that run of week to week of those playoff games and earning your keep every week to get to Super Bowl 38?
Well, I think that Dallas game, we got to play it at home. The crowd was absolutely electric. And, I'll borrow a Eugene Robinson saying, we stomped a mud hole in them, and we did. Running the ball, had some great plays, made some big playmakers, did a lot of good things in that game. But I think that's the game we're like, okay, the regular season's gone. This is a faster paced play. All these things, we lost to Dallas during the regular season. We can make amends here tonight. We went out and played a great ball game. It was really fun. And you knew it was going to work when, Mooson has told this story other people have talked about it so much, but, we're facing like a 3rd and 13 or something, and he's expecting a pass to the end zone. We're in red zone territory, and we end up calling a run to Stephen Davis, who takes it in for the score. But only a team that's, coached by John Fox is going to run one on 3rd and 13 and think you're going to make a big play out of it. But it happened, and it just seemed things were going right. And then obviously going to the Rams, I mean, so exciting with the double overtime, plus the big 69-yard pass to Steve Smith was incredible. One thing I remember from that one is just being so tired. Like, I was so happy the game was over. We won it. We won another playoff game. I go sprinting down the field, and all of us linemen were going down to try and celebrate with Steve and all the other skilled players who had already been down there. We're slower, big fat dudes, and we got about halfway and just all kind of looked at each other and shook each other's hands and hugged each other. We're like, we got halfway and said, those other 30 yards, we're not doing it, man. I'm done. We're spent. We just played so much football. And then obviously Philadelphia, the weather was cold and sleet and flurries. The field had been soaked. It had rained for a couple of days. Just awful. But the defense was so huge in that game, and the turnovers. It just, we felt like we were in control of that thing from start to finish, even though it wasn't a huge score difference. The defense was just unbelievable.
Yep, gave up nothing in that game. And then you go to Super Bowl 38 in Houston. It ends 32-29, New England with late field goal there. And I think most people know how the game goes. It starts out slow. Panthers rally with 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Take it down to the wire there before that last field goal by Adam Vinatieri. Take us through, arriving there, being there. You're at a Super Bowl. And then the game itself, and just as you look back all these 20 whatever years later, look back at that now. What are some of your bigger takeaways and memories of how that all played out?
I think for me personally, arriving in Houston, it was kind of a full circle moment because I got drafted originally by the Houston Oilers and played 7 years of my career with that team. It's where I started my first game, and it just it felt like a nice exclamation point to end my career on. But, that was just personal. But I think team-wise, everybody was ready to put the work in and ready to battle. We were huge underdogs. It might have been a double digit in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. And, I think we just loved playing that chip on the shoulder. And, although it was pretty ugly early on, I think getting in at halftime, making some adjustments, especially on the offensive side, it was great to see it start clicking, get some big plays. And, we were just seconds away from ultimately going to maybe overtime and winning that thing against one of the great dynasties in NFL there's ever been. So it was a proud moment. Whether we won or lost, it was just such a great experience, and I'm glad I got to go to one. I think the longer you're in the league, the more you realize how rare it is to even go to a Super Bowl. It is so difficult just to get to that game, and just makes you more appreciative of guys that are able to go multiple times or lead their team to multiple victories in the Super Bowl. It's just so difficult.
I've asked guys from that Super Bowl 38 team and from the Super Bowl 50 team about that you get there, and obviously you have dreams and thoughts of the confetti and holding the trophy and all that. Obviously, life would be different. But as you look back all these many years later, would it have changed your life? Or it's just obviously something you'd like to have happen that if you could have it, it's great. But is it really life-changing one way or another?
I think for most players it's not. I think that, some of the elite guys that have a lot of notoriety and go on to have a broadcasting career or maybe coaching career, things like that, having that Super Bowl victory in their pocket is just always going to kind of stay with them, and be part of their, who they are. But for the rest of us, it was an unbelievable experience. I loved it. I'm so glad I got there. I wouldn't trade for anything. The whole experience was fantastic. I just think, our story during that 2003 season, I just have so much pride that we even got there, and we held. We were tied with the Patriots with, a minute left, and it could have gone either way. And I think it was a proud moment for me when you see a group of players that, we didn't have the most Pro Bowl guys and guys that, went on to the Hall of Fame, different things like that. We had a few studs here and there, but the rest of the team, really, we just played better as a group, and the culture and everything. You can just tell. I'm kind of lost for words in saying that it just was so meaningful on so many different levels. I don't think it would have changed my life to win it at this point. It wouldn't have done anything with what I've done after football. But I tell you, for me personally, it's one of those things that there were so many things we learned that season, how we came together, how a true team that seems destined for something feels like. And I've been around football a long time since. And, I got those vibes when I was doing a lot of work for that 2015 Carolina Panthers team that went on to the Super Bowl. So it's special, and you just have to embrace it and enjoy it every second of the way.
Those are great words, and it is what it is, as far as your friend John Fox would say.
I hear you, John Fox. That's right.
And picked a bad day to have a bad day, although that was a pretty good day as far as the game went and the way it ended there. Kevin, we love you. Thanks for being our friend. We appreciate the fact that you're still so involved with Panthers football when you make the time for it, because I know you're busy up in Chapel Hill, but you're a big part of Panthers history, man. Thank you for sharing some of those memories with us today.
I appreciate you, Jim. You were there that whole ride, man, so I know what you felt during those times, and it's always great sharing these memories with you.
30 seasons of Panther football.
Oral health goes beyond just aesthetics. It's deeply connected to your general health and well-being. That's why preventing oral health problems before they start is so important. When you use the Colgate Total Active Prevention System, you're not just helping to prevent oral health problems like cavities and gingivitis. You're laying the groundwork for overall wellness. Colgate Total's 3-product routine includes a reformulated toothpaste, an innovative toothbrush, and a refreshing antibacterial mouthwash that all support a healthy mouth. In fact, the The 3 products were designed to work together to be 15 times more effective at reducing bacteria buildup in 6 weeks, starting from week 1, compared to a non-antibacterial fluoride toothpaste and flat trim toothbrush. Take control of your oral health and get the Colgate Total Active Prevention System today so you can be dentist ready. Visit shop.colgate.com/total.
Get almost anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get chicken parmesan delivered. A little escape? No. A delicious bowl of grapes? Yes, that. An afternoon stroll? Sorry, no. A burrito bowl? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than just Peyton Manning. I'm also motivating Manning. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Insurance. Financial services. Now when I say nationwide, you say is both. Nationwide. Is both. Nationwide. Is both. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.